Right, hi. It's spring. It's possibly a little too windy to attempt what I'm about to do, but then I just thought this is actually the best weather that we've had in days. I've got my boys running late, a cat on the table who has clearly not had enough attention in the last few days, and I thought, why not work on a project and have a chat, yeah, and just go from there. Yeah, so I mean, it's been an interesting time. I'm hoping what will happen is that there'll be a beautiful sunset behind me, and that I won't get too cold. Because I'm also hoping that the cat doesn't decide to just completely take over everything. Anyway, it's been an interesting time because I've been recovering from a concussion, and I'm doing really well. I mean, I'm being treated like an absolute princess as far as this concussion is going, because people seem to be bending over backwards. I have a speech therapist appointment on Wednesday because I do struggle in the afternoons. I developed a stutter, which is particularly annoying when, you're a drama teacher, and some neurological issues that they wanted me to have a look at around the fact that I'm struggling to write, but I'm currently in this stage that I'm calling concussion confidence, where I'm just really 100% confident in everything I'm doing, but like, honestly, what about you, Kat? But it's unwarranted confidence is the thing. I'm really hoping that this wind isn't going to make all of this chatter just pointless. So what am I working on? Well, I can probably tell you because I don't know when I'm going to get this podcast uploaded, but I'm working on a Christmas Advent project that I'm hoping to get done and released for this year's Christmas. It's not a Christmas project. I just wanted to release it as like an Advent project because I'm really disappointed in not being able to get a Hobie Christmas Advent. So I'm working on these Peggy squares. At least I think they were called Peggy squares when I was growing up, when we were knitting them. The theme is a farm, and it's basically a blanket slash playmat slash, could be a cushion, could be a bag. I mean, there's options as to what the squares could be used for, but either way, it should have the ability with like little sheep and ducks and things like that to create like a farmyard environment on a blanket, as well as being a blanket, as well as being very cute and being broken down into no more than 25 parts. There's 25 squares, but the 25 squares are not, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not all different. Like there's some repeating squares. So I might just move you all a little. Yeah, because that way I can see who I'm talking to. Hi. So I'm working on my squares. I'm working on filming the tutorials. It's I had 100,000 things that I was supposed to be doing, but then I realized I had a few days home alone, and what better time to sit and just film stuff without people asking me to do things, when I could eat my dinner whenever I wanted to, or have cereal for dinner if I wanted, so it felt like the right time to jump on this project. Now I do have several big projects, not on the go, but in mind. This was the first one because I thought what I can do is I can release it as a video a day, because the squares themselves, you can knit several of them a day. There are 9 different squares. Some of them require having 5 pieces. Some of them are, one of them's 3, a couple of them are 2, and there's 1, 2, 3 squares that are wholly unique, and that there's just one of those. So I don't I think it would be doable easily in a 25-day Advent countdown. I mean, the other thing is if I don't get it finished in time for releasing as an Advent project, and then when do I release it? Do I release it before December, or do I release it as of December 1? You know, the struggle is real. But I figure it's also an evergreen project because it's not Christmas themed. Yeah, but I do need to get started on my Christmas projects. I was supposed to get started on my Christmas projects this school holidays. We're over halfway through the holidays. I have not. It's been a holiday filmed. See, I'm doing the word thing again. A holiday filled with theatre. I haven't had to. Like I'm about to say, I haven't had to do a lot. I've had to do a lot. I just haven't had to do a lot. Why am I filming this in the evening? What am I trying to say? It's a culmination of the hard work from the whole year. So the first thing that happened in this last week, like we're talking in a week, I had to go up to Hamilton, which, for some context for people out there, it's a 6-hour drive. So we drove up to Hamilton because 2 of my students came third in a national script writing competition that I won. I joke about it all the time, that I destroyed them. I didn't really destroy them. It's just, I like pointing out to them that this is an all ages competition. And it's kind of amazing to be coming third equal in the whole country as a 17-year-old. You know, that's kind of crazy. Especially when someone like me has won it. Well, I came second last year. Last year? Yes. And I came third in 2022. So it's not like I haven't been trying for this for some time. So there was that. So that was a trip up to Hamilton, and then overnight, and then back the next day. And then just the other day, I had 2 students who were involved in the International Comedy Festival, and they were selected to be part of a workshop with a fantastic improv performer from New York, whose name completely escapes me, but she worked with them for a week, and then they got to perform in a professional theatre on the opening night of the festival, and they got a professional theatre review that we read the next day, and it was stunning. Like, it was just so lovely. Of course, that was a late night. And then the following night was a later night. Picked up a van and took a whole stack of kids over to see 2 of my students who were performing at the National Schools Shakespeare Production Week. Now, this happens every year, but I don't always get kids selected to it. So having 2 there was particularly wonderful. These guys spent 8 days with professional directors and put on 3 45-minute performances from 3 different Shakespearean plays, and they were incredible considering the amount of time that they had, and considering that they got cast on like the Tuesday and their first performance was the Friday. So it's a hothouse environment, and then from there they're hoping all the kids there are hoping to be selected for a trip to London in July next year, or July 2026, depending on when this video gets posted. So that would put them as New Zealand representatives. So there's 24 students who get to go and travel to London and work at the Globe Theatre with their professional directors and put on a performance on the Globe Theatre stage. Like, it's an incredible opportunity. I've had the chance to do it, and I've had the chance to escort the group. Of course, 100% I am going to be asking if I can take the group, because if I get some kids in there, I really just, I mean, it's such a fantastic thing, and it's an opportunity of a lifetime for all these kids, and to just be there and see them, like, oh, It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, I've had the privilege of seeing 2 of my students perform in London, and I didn't get to see 2 more because they were over in 2021, 22. It was just after all the COVID lockdowns, and the borders were open again and tourism was happening again. But they all got COVID while they were there, and one of them got not stuck, but she got COVID while she was there and had to go into isolation in London and then fly back separately from the rest of the group. So, I mean, it was a tough time. Yeah, and I definitely could not have gone at that stage. But boy, I wish I could have. Oh, no, I don't. I wish I could have, but I wish that there wasn't a pandemic on, because, yeah, Anywho, there's 2 in the running now, and I would dearly like to take them. And then we volunteered to drop some of the kids from the rest of the country back off to the airport, which was a nice little drive. Then there was a scenario with the dog, but we'll just... There's another video coming about the scenario that happened with the dog. So that was a crazy, crazy afternoon. It ended really, really well, but it was a crazy time. And then what happened? Then I stayed another night over with my dad, because he's been doing my night driving, because I'm still not driving at night, because I'm being a good girl. I'm following all my instructions from all my medical and health professionals. Yeah, so I'm not night driving, but I'm night passengering. I also can't knit in the car at night, which is kind of a crazy thing, because I usually can. Like, usually I just do sock knitting in the car. You might notice that some of my shorts are often road trip. I'm particularly good at knitting in a school van, just saying. But yeah, that's not... it's not what I'm able to do once the lights go down, because as soon as the lights go down, I kind of get really Swiss cheese in the head, and then and then I have the big struggle of not getting motion sickness, and the lens flares that happen with headlights and lights. Like, I'm still struggling with bright lights, and I'm struggling with dim light, and I'm struggling with sound. Yeah, so and so I've got a neurophysiotherapist, and I've got a speech therapist, and I think they're talking about even having an appointment with just some sort of psychotherapist to see how I can shake some of the other stuff. But I'm positive about it all, and I have been so thankful for the healthcare that I've received. Even if there are some things that I just haven't seen or heard back from, but I've got this really good occupational therapist, a really good neurophysio, and so yeah, that stuff's really... It scares me that one of my friends over in the States, she has a son who got a concussion around about the same time I did, and he was back at work 2 days later. I had instantly... 2 weeks. I've missed him. I've done a wrong boo-boo stitch there anyway. I was instantly off for 2 weeks, and then I'm still not back more than half days at the moment. So, you know, I'm very thankful that that the medical professionals have decided that my brain is worthy of protecting and giving the break. Yeah. And then, the other thing that happened is that 2 more of my students I nominated for an award, and they both won it. So then I got invited to the awards ceremony. So I get to go to that, which is very cute. So that's coming up not this week, but next week. At least I don't have to cook that night. Always a good thing. Yeah, the temperature's really dropping. One of the things that I notice about spring, and I really like spring, it's my favourite season. There's a thing that I like to call the first good day. And the first good day is the one where it's the first day where you're comfortable just wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and you're enjoying the sun on your skin. It's all kind of downhill from there because I don't like summer, but that first good day is always an eye-opener, and I just enjoy it. But there's always the thing that happens at the end of the first good day is that you go into a very cold evening. And of course, I've been away now for 4 days and 3 nights, and I'm back as of about lunchtime today. So I've got everything open and airing out because, well, the cat got left behind, but she made herself well known. I also left the compost bin inside because I'm still doing dumb things. Yeah, so everything just needs airing out. What's going on over there? I think the cat is now going down to investigate the chicken that's currently digging up in there. Oh, and there's a hare. There is a hare coming down my driveway. And you would think that having a beagle, his, what do you call it, genetic imperative would kick in at some point. No, it's too cold for him out here right now. He's back inside just having a little nap. But, you know, I'll let him because he's cute. And I like him. He's a good boy. He's my best friend. Yeah. So, what else should I be talking about while I work away on the square? See, this one here is a pathway. The theory is that there's a pathway that runs through this map, joining the farmhouse with the barn. There's a pond. There's different paddocks and things like that. It's kind of inspired by where we're at. I mean, we've just got this one, I say just one paddock, but what is it? It's 5 acres, 2 hectares. I don't really know how big it is. It's big enough that the chickens, the side hustle, or as I like to call it, the chickens are the opportunity to become independently wealthy. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm going to become independently wealthy. But I've got the sheep, or 2 sheep, and we've got enough room that when the house is completely finished and the stepson moves out, we'll be able to have a B&B. I stayed at a B&B the other day. It was absolutely fantastic. And I just really loved it. And I like the idea of meeting people. I like the idea of hosting people. Yeah. I feel like there could be a chicken versus cat moment, as they're both just giving themselves the stand down. It looks like the chicken's winning. The cat has given up. Yep. The chicken is chasing down the cat. Nope, the chicken's running away. I got given these chickens because I guess she's a family friend now, yeah, is selling up her house and moving away now that all of her kids have moved out of home. But in doing so, she had all these chickens that needed rehoming, and I said, of course, I'll take your chickens. And this one here is one that she had silky bantams that were purebred white silky bantams. My partner was desperate to get silky bantams, so right before, was it Christmas or his birthday? They're both in December, so it's difficult to know exactly which one it was. For either Christmas or his birthday, I purchased some silky bantams from them for his birthday, and it was like, or is it Christmas? Either way, we had to go and pick them up, and it wasn't on the day of his birth or the day of Christmas. It was it was neither of those, but it was somewhere in the vicinity. So we went down and picked them up, and then she put her house on the market, and at that point she's like, can you take the rest of my chickens? And we said, yeah, of course, yeah, we'll take the rest of the chickens. So we picked up the rest of the chickens. I mean, they've got these gorgeous names like Albert Henstein and Albert Henstein and Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck's actually a nice rooster. But the Silky Bantam roosters had been breeding with, no, the Silky Bantam hens had bred with one of the feral roosters that lived over the back fence from where she lived, because all of her chickens were free range, like really free range, like they'd walk in the house and things like that. So there's 2 of these chickens that are half silky bantam, half feral rooster, and one of them every morning she flies out of the chicken run in the coop. Like it's an 8-foot, just over 2-meter high fence that goes all the way around the chicken run, and she just flies over it every morning and hangs out in the garden. At the moment, because we're still building, and I'd like to say it's taking up all of my time, but it's really not taking up my time, because I'm not doing the on tools thing, but I've had to pick up more domestic duties so that my partner can do the actual building. So there's that. So some of the things have to give, and one of the things that had to give is I either had to give up the vegetable garden or give up the YouTube channel. So obviously I chose keep the YouTube channel that costs time and money. Because eventually I would like this YouTube channel to be monetized, and then I can fully 100% justify all the money I spend on yarn, because it's a business. Yes. I mean, I do sell the odd knitting pattern, and my website got a lot of traffic last month, like a lot. I think somebody must have shared a pumpkin knitting pattern on Facebook. And because all of a sudden I was getting all these questions about the pattern, so I made a video tutorial of it. I might remember to link it to this. I won't remember to link it to this. The whole point of this particular podcast is that I just sit here and knit in the garden and chat away to you. And that I don't edit the video. Good times. Anywho, I don't remember what I was talking about. To be honest, I rarely remember what I'm talking about. I know I was talking about chickens at one point. I know I was talking about the garden. Oh yes, giving stuff up. So I currently don't have anything going on in the garden. I really was hoping. I made a list at the start of the school holidays, all the things I would like to get done. However, it has been rainy and windy for the whole last week. If the weather improves, my aim is to weed and prepare a couple of garden beds. The AMP show's coming up. Last year, I didn't just enter the knitting. I also entered the vegetables, and I won first in brassicas because my cabbage was so resplendent, and I came first in 3 root vegetables any kind. So I would have liked to have got an entry in for those. Only I don't think that's going to be possible. Yeah. I didn't even manage to get all the potatoes out of the garden, and I'm afraid that there's now potatoes rotting in the garden because I planted 50 square meters of potatoes in 8 different varieties. It was an extension of the potato experiments that I've been running for the last few years. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, the garden's the one that's gone by the wayside, because the bit that takes the most time isn't so much the gardening, it's the bit at the other end, which is doing the preserves. And I don't have a kitchen that's big enough to do it. We've got so much stuff in storage. It's just a really tight space because we're living tiny. We're living tiny off-grid. And what you can't see right now is this little patch of lawn does need a mow. Like, it really needs a mow. But I think it's going to need a weed eat before it can get a mow, you know. But it's in one of those categories of doesn't matter. You know, it's just, yeah, the focus has to be on getting the house finished so that we can move into the house, and then I can have my resplendent yarn room. I don't have a problem with living tiny. Like, I've enjoyed it. There's just a couple of things that have become really annoying. that it's really difficult to maintain temperature. Things either get really, really hot or really, really cold really, really quickly. And when you've got 3 people in a tiny space, unfortunately we all do get along, but even all getting along, there are times when I want to be making a video and I can't because there's nowhere quiet for me to go. And then there's times where you just want to have a rest, but someone's got visitors over and you can't. Or you have to move out of the way because other people are coming. The constant struggle of knowing that I own more cups and plates and saucers than we're using, but not being able to have them because we don't have the space for it. So then when people do come over, you can't just easily say, hey, do you want to stay for dinner? I mean, I probably could because I'm a vegetarian. I'm not sure that most people around here want to want to stay for a vegetarian dinner. Yeah, well, the sunset happening behind me is nowhere near as beautiful as I was hoping it was going to be, but I'm telling myself it's still worth sitting out here in the cold and knitting because it could have been a beautiful sunset. I mean, it's nice enough, but often, yeah, I am very lucky to live here, and I know that, and I want to be living here for a long time. It's not often you can feel like you've got enough space to explore any of the ideas that you might want to do, that we can have the chickens and the roosters because we're out of town and there isn't anyone who can complain about noise. That if I want to have a massive vegetable garden, it's not a challenge. Like there's probably currently 200 square meters of garden. And I say currently because there's 200 square meters of garden space, which is a lot. And I love it, but it is a lot of work. And there's the plans when we get to move this. In here will go, where I'm sitting, will go my pizza garden and a pizza oven. And then my tea garden will go over there. I know what you're thinking, what's a tea garden? It's a garden where I grow my things for tea. Okay, so when you start living off-grid, you start having fantasies about never having to leave the property because you can grow your own coffee and bananas. It doesn't get old. There'll be a big shed, there'll be a greenhouse at some point, and the pizza garden so that we can wander down from the house and come down, light a wood-fired pizza oven that I don't know if you can have a wood-fired pizza oven in town, and then like pick the tomatoes from the garden and put them on the pizza. I keep saying that when I'm independently wealthy and I no longer have to go to work, we could get a house cow, and then we had a house cow, I could make cheese. Many moons ago I applied for a job as a cheesemonger. Obviously, I did not get this job as a cheesemonger. Do I have any experience in the cheesemongering field? No, I've eaten a lot of cheese. Were there people who were professional cheesemongers trained in Italy applying for the job? Yeah, there were. But I was not going to not throw my hat in the ring, that's for sure. These opportunities come once in a lifetime, I'm sure. Yeah, so there's those sorts of dreams that you can indulge in when you've got this much space. There is the thing that it will become too much space at some point, but hopefully not for 20 years or 30 years. I'd be dreaming at 30 years with the way I keep doing stupid things. Like since being here, one of the first things that happened when I moved up here was I fell off the bed and slipped a disc in my back. Craziness. And then I got back to running because I was running and then that happened, put on more weight. Had the fall, got back into running, got my dog back and he couldn't walk. So I had to retrain the dog how to walk and go through his rehabilitation, give up running again. Then got back started on running again. And then, did I do my thumb at that point? Yes, I did my thumb in the garden, which held up a lot of the garden progress last summer. I pulled all the tendons in my thumb and it took months to heal. Made it very difficult to knit and crochet, as well as garden and do dishes and drive, all of those things. And then the concussion. And I don't think I'm that accident prone normally. Well, I say I don't think I'm that accident prone, but clearly I've got the reputation now of being accident prone. Oh, we're getting a few more colours in the sunset. That'll be nice. Yeah. So I do enjoy living up here. But it is one of those ones that it'll be so much nicer when we've got the house. The house has got a scullery. Lower your expectations, people. It is not the kind of scullery that one sees on, what's it called? Architectural Digest. When people do their celebrity house tours. No, it's not having a sink. It's not having an appliance garage. It's not even having a single PowerPoint in there. There's just a light bulb. But the scullery is really just a pantry so that I've got storage for preserves and things. Yeah, I'm excited about that sort of thing. I'm excited about food security. I mean, it's a crazy thing, isn't it, to get to a point in your life where you're excited about food security, of all things. Yeah. And not food security for myself so much, but food security for the wider family. Like, Dad lives alone. And he's getting older. The expectation is that at some point he's going to have to sell up his house and he's probably going to end up moving in up here rather than moving into a retirement village. Although, if he moved to a retirement village, I'm sure my sister and I, we would rejoice. But I imagine that it'll be easier to get him to move here than it would be to get him to move to a retirement village. So there's that. There'll be room in the house for him to do that if that's what he wants to do. Yeah. So that's a privilege. But having the ability to, in the meantime, always have enough eggs, because we're up to about 60 chickens, to be able to supply my sister and her family, or Dad, or the in-laws, or whoever with eggs. To be able to sell the eggs, that's also fantastic. Admittedly, are we selling too many eggs at the moment? No, because I'm too busy and concussed. But we've got plans, and hopefully we can get to one of the farmers markets and have a chicken egg stall. You know, I've still got the strawberry patch. The strawberry patch has gone gangbusters. I do need to get in there and weed and fertilise it all so that we get good strawberries all summer. I'm hoping to get good strawberries all summer because I love strawberries. And the irony is with these strawberries is that they've all come from my mother's strawberry plants. So when my mother died, at that point, she was going through a lot of cancer treatments for like 11 years. During that time, one of the things she became really passionate about was fresh fruit. And she went through this thing of always having fresh fruit or freezing her fresh fruit so that she could put it in her Greek yogurt for breakfast. I'm not sure whether or not there's an oncologist who ever says Greek yogurt and fruit is the answer, but she thought it was the answer, so that's what she was doing. So by the time she died, basically her whole backyard was covered in strawberry gardens. And so one of the things that my sister started doing as she was, I've got one of everything hooked up there, as she was dying, was we made this plan that we were going to have to take out a lot of these gardens so that the backyard would become manageable again for my father. And what we did is we took all these plants. This is a very generous version of we. It's mostly her and her children. Finish this one here. They pulled up the strawberry plants and planted them into little pots. And all these little pots we took to the funeral. And people were encouraged to take one of the strawberry plants home and let it grow and enjoy the fruits of her labours. And they did. And so my partner ended up with about 6 at the end of the funeral. And they grew and they propagated. And then when I decided that the area that had all the berries, I wanted it to be changed so that I can call it the wilding and have berries that go into the shelter belt. It's the ultimate aim. It's not really there yet. Well, the berries are there, but the shelter belt's not quite up high enough as to what the end vision is going to be. So that it wasn't just lawn. It was a berry patch where people could go in and feel like you were foraging at the edge of the woods and have like a Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin kind of 1,000-acre wood, 100-acre wood, 3-acre wood, who knows, experience. So all of the strawberry plants that are there, and it's about 50 square metres of strawberry plants, or is it more? It's a lot. They've all grown from hers. Oh, there's one in a pot that's an alpine strawberry from my best friend because it's got pink flowers. So I'm hoping to propagate that one and end up with more of them with pink flowers because that'd be cool. Yeah. I've just moved on to one of the hay bale blocks. I don't know if other people have round hay bales. I'm sure they do. But they've got these little bobbles on it, so they kind of look like the round hay bales that you get in summer fields in the gold. Yeah, so we've got the strawberries, we've got the eggs, we've got the vegetable patch. Nobody in the family has bought a potato all year because the potato patch has been producing solidly since the start of December 2024. And that's kind of crazy. I've got bags of potatoes that I don't think we managed to master the art of getting them dry and dark enough in storage, which is a shame because it's a lot of effort to get them out of the ground and then dried and then bagged and then away in the dark. But we're still using them. They're just, you look at them and you go, oh, they're starting to go soft. And yet we're not far now from where we would be harvesting our first potatoes of the year. I say that, we're like 3 months away from it still. But I am worried about the thing they call the hungry season, where you're doing all the work in the garden, but there isn't anything as an outcome for it as such. Yeah. Anyway, this is not really it's a nip with me in the garden, but it's me talking about the garden more than anything else. Yeah. So what else am I thinking about? So we've got the AMP show coming up. I keep thinking that I want to enter my sheep in the AMP show. I was wanting to do that this year, but I don't think I'm going to get to enter my sheep in the category because if they're pregnant, they'll have a lamb and then their lambs will be, having lambed, they'll no longer be eligible for the category. Yeah, I don't really know how it works. I'm not a farmer, I pretend, or I would like to be calling myself a farmer. It's a beautiful life. It's not an easy life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm no illusions of how difficult farming is, but I like helping out on the farm. It's just exhausting, but it's that good hard work that you thoroughly enjoy and have satisfaction at the end of the day. I mean, to be honest, so is teaching. It's the same sort of thing. Yeah. So what are my other plans? Once I get done with some more of these squares, I think tomorrow I'm going to get started on making a crochet beagle. I don't know how to make a crochet beagle yet. I don't know whether or not I want to look up patterns and just buy a pattern, or if I want to wing it, because I mean, I know what a beagle looks like. I've got plenty of beagle I can look at and get beagle shapes. I can figure out the shape of a beagle. You know, I know that I can do that. But I need to crochet a beagle because the girl just down the road from where my dad lives was looking after Rocky, and she kept calling him Tony. And I just realized this morning that that's what I need to do. I need to make her own beagle and just post it down, and that would be so cute and so adorable. And she'll think I'm the greatest, and she still has no idea who I really am. So does that make it slightly creepy? Hopefully not slightly creepy. You know what's really bizarre is that it's a lot brighter in the viewfinder here than it is in real life. We just had Bird of the Year. Now, I was the campaign manager for the Kahu, or the Swamp Harrier. We came 40th out of 73. So not bad. Not bad. I think we got about 1,000 votes. So that's grand. Happy with that. The pattern's been viewed many times. The video's been watched. So if nothing else, I feel like I've done a little bit of a job to point people in the direction of Forest and Bird New Zealand, and to have people thinking a little bit more about conservation. And that's meaningful. Right, what else am I working on? I'm still working on my 2x2 socks, or my 2 at a time socks. I really want to get started on the rainbow ones, but I feel like if I don't finish the purple and brown ones first, yeah, I just need to do that. I've also got so many videos that need editing. I've got a video for Build-A-Bear socks, for summer socks. I think I've got the kaleidoscope, no, not kaleidoscope, what did I call it? Stained glass socks. The 24-hour sock challenge, the road trip socks, the black socks. Is one other as well. Oh, the pumpkin booties. So none of those have been edited yet, and I need to get stuck into that. I mean, if I do get all those edited, I think I've got 2 sock videos up currently for October. But I do need to get them all up. Nobody has asked for sock videos for October, but I am a big fan of Socktober. Socktober is what got me into knitting socks in the first place, and I am now constantly knitting socks. I have knit socks for my niece. I've knit socks for my stepson. I've knit socks for the in-laws. I've knit... my partner gets socks for every occasion. I need to start working on the Christmas socks, because last year I did matching socks for us all. Oh, that one too. The 2x2 socks. I've got so many sock patterns and sock videos that exist that I haven't edited yet, and I just need to get it done, but I haven't, so that's a problem. Yeah, so there's a lot of editing coming up in the next week. It's okay, it'll be fine. And I need to plan an awards evening, and then at that point I think life gets a little bit less busy, but by that point I need to start doing my writing for next year and my planning for next year for work, not just my knitting planning. I'll tell you what the other plan is. Now, the other thing I need to get working on is for the Christmas season. As you know, we're in New Zealand. I'm in spring. The vast majority of my followers right now are in fall or autumn, and they're all, well, you're all getting ready for the cooler months and preparing for a Christmas in the snow. I came close to having Christmas in the snow once when I was in China, which was very bizarre, talking to Chinese people about Christmas and the fact that they were going to have half a morning for Christmas or something and then be at work in the afternoon. Like, it was an interesting concept. But I've never had a snowy white Christmas, but I've seen the Christmas trees in the snow, but it was in northern China, so it wasn't exactly the scenario that you'd expect for a white Christmas. What we have is a hot, sunny Christmas. And I mean, I haven't even had that many Christmases because I didn't grow up having Christmas, but my current partner has grown up with Christmas, and I know that it's quite normal to grow up with Christmas, and I love Christmas. One of the things that one of my cousins, who also didn't grow up with Christmas, she had her first Christmas last year, and she called it that. She had her first Christmas party and all that sort of thing. And then this year, she's invited me to her birthday party, and she's jokingly calling it her first birthday. It's so funny. And there's so many people who wouldn't understand, but we both get it. Good times. But what I want to do for Christmas specifically is put together one of those compilation lists that people do about patterns and pattern roundups and here's all the things on a theme. I would like to do Summer Christmas as a knitting and crochet theme. I don't really think there's a lot of patterns out there. Yeah, the other one I want to do is I have a plan to do a series of Christmas turtles because turtles remain popular. But I want one of them to be a pohutukawa. Now, pohutukawa is what we call our New Zealand Christmas tree because it's a tree that blossoms in red flowers with dark green leaves at Christmas time. So it's a beautiful tree, and that's our New Zealand Christmas tree. I got given one for my first Christmas, which was very cute. However, it did not survive the winter following because it's on the edge of the climate as to where they would actually grow, being this far inland, and I didn't manage to keep the frost off it, so I was very disappointed when it died. Like, I was heartbroken and tempted to replace it just so that no one knows that it died, you know. But again, when you're gathering your own water and all that sort of thing, sometimes it's a sacrifice you have to make, is not watering the trees in summer because you want them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, for lack of a better description, and to if things don't survive the winter, how much effort do you want to put in to keep them surviving through the winter if they're not suited to the environment and they're not going to make it? Like, you want things to fit into the environment and to thrive. So I want to do a pohutukawa flower on top of a turtle. I really don't think there's many people who will ever make it, but I don't care. I want to do it because I want to. I want to do it for me. I want to do it for the other Kiwis that are out there. And I want to make a compilation of what are the other projects, what are the things that us down under associate with summer Christmas and all the cozy Christmas crochet projects that everybody else has. What's the reality for us, you know? So I want to put that together. There's also, what's it called? My Little Homestead, maybe? They released a song one year, which was about Christmas in the desert. And, I mean, clearly not a desert. But I just felt such a draw to that Christmas carol that they wrote. Because, yeah, Christmas in the heat. That's just how we know it. Yeah. Also, this is now a bobble row, so I think I might be able to get this bobble row done, and then it might be too dark to continue knitting out here. And I don't know whether or not my camera is just adjusted for the light, or whether or not if I do this, you might get more of a look of the sunset behind. Which is, I was just thinking, it would be quite nice to sit and watch the sunset with you, but of course it's really difficult to sit and watch the sunset with you, but I can let you watch the sunset behind me. But if the camera's just going to be adjusting itself for the light. Okay, so that's 4 and that's 5, so that's 9. So then this one's a bobble. Yeah. Now, when Janelle from Rosary Apparel made her bobble jumper, I thought, oh, that is a sensory nightmare. That many bobbles all over a jumper. Because I remember one of the very first things that I ever knit, I think it was the first thing I ever knit from a pattern, to be honest, was an Aran jumper. And it had cables and bobbles and all that sort of thing. And I loved that jumper. Somebody put it in the dryer, and that just destroyed my soul when that happened. But I wore that thing almost to death. And I was so proud of myself for making it. And no one ever believed that I made it. I mean, I was about 13, 14 at the time when I made it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I do remember when I was making it vividly, disliking the process of making the bobbles, and then when it was finished, having these bobbles that were just there. You know, you'd sit on the bus and you'd lean back and the bobbles would press against your back. So I wasn't a fan of the bobbles in reality. Ducks. I wasn't a fan of making them, and yet here I am making bobbles in a way that I'm actually enjoying the bobbles on the finished project. But yeah, I thought about bobbles again after Janelle made her jumper and remembered all the things about my jumper with bobbles, and the fact that she's put bobbles under her arms on her jumper, like, oh, yep. Craziness. There was another jumper I saw on YouTube today that somebody was wearing or making, I can't remember which, and it was a free pattern from Hobie. So I think I've downloaded that since, and I will put that in my, ooh, I would like to make that pile. But again, you never know whether or not the sizing is going to be there, because I am currently at my largest size, which is very annoying, to be honest, because... not because I'm worried about the size that I'm at, it's just I miss the size that I was, if that makes sense. So I don't want to go out and find all my clothes don't fit. I don't want to have to not make a cute little top because I don't have it in my size, or I'm going to have to grade the pattern up large enough just to fit me. You know, I don't want to do any of that. But I'm not fat shaming myself or anyone else for that matter. Anywho, I'm on my last bobble for now. The light is definitely straining. My boys will be back any minute now. Actually, I don't know whether or not it'll be any minute now, but my boys will be back soon enough that I should go back in and make sure I've heated up all the soup, because they've requested soup for tea. Because they've been travelling. They just said a nice simple soup is what we'd want. So hopefully you've enjoyed. There's some bobbles. Yeah, it's really low light. And I will catch you next week. Bye.